Welcome, everyone. Good evening, and you're welcome once again to Giving Back with Deji Life. And I'm here tonight. I'm glad we're here tonight to have another exciting episode with Giving Back with Deji Life. I'm glad because this episode I've long awaited this episode, and I'm glad that finally we get to have this topic discussed. Finally, we have the opportunity to talk about this long-awaited topic. All right, so I would like to say thank you for those who have been with us for the past 9 episodes. We are in our season 2, and this is episode 2 of season 2. For those who would like to watch our videos, you can go to our YouTube page. You can go to our Instagram page. You can go to our Facebook page, and you can watch these videos over and over and over. My name is Deji Ogumola, and I am the host of Giving Back with Deji. And this is episode 2 of season 2. And we have a very interesting topic that we'll be discussing today. So I would like every day, every time we have this session, I'd like to just give a brief background of why we started Giving Back with Deji. Giving Back with Deji was born out of the desire to share information to those who need them, and how it can support and help a lot of people out there who desire such information. Now, the information that comes to you are not just to wow you, but to help you to achieve your goals and your dreams. And today we have another interesting topic that we'll be looking at. I know this is a topic that no one wants to talk about. I know it's a big deal in Africa and across the world, but nobody is talking about it. And I have someone that I feel is the best person to have this discussion with me. I have a very dear friend with me. I've known her for 11 years plus now. Since 2009, and I've seen her in her career, and I've seen what she's done, and that's why I'm bringing her to you. The topic we're looking at is indicators and how to support sexual assault victims. We know that a lot of people go through these problems, and no one is talking about it. No one is having that conversation anywhere, and that's why we're bringing it up. And before I introduce my guest, I would like to read some statistics to you so that will help us, and that will give us, it will help us take this topic in context. Now, I got this data from a site called worryfng.org. Okay, so let me read the data. Now, it said Africa has the highest prevalent rate of child sexual abuse, and the rate is actually 34.4%. Now, it goes deeper. As at 2004, 60% of children involved in child trafficking from Africa to Europe were Nigerians. 60% of children from Africa to Europe are Nigerians. Now, between 2012 and 2013, about 30% of women in Nigeria experience one form of domestic violence or the other. Okay. Findings from a national survey carried out in 2014 on violence against children in Nigeria confirmed 1 of 4 females reported experiencing sexual violence in childhood, with an approximate 70% reporting more than 1 incident of sexual violence. Now, in the same study, it was found that 24.8% of females ages between 18 and 24 years experienced sexual abuse prior to age 18, of which 5% sought help. Guess what? With only 3.5% receiving any service. So it's to let you know that there is a problem and nobody's fixing it. And we have a lot of people carrying this garbage, this baggage around. Okay. I have Joy Oshokoya with me this evening. Joy is a trauma counselor. I'm going to welcome Joy onto the scene right now. Joy, thank you for joining us. Joy, can you hear me? Hi, Joy, can you hear me? Okay, while we're trying to sort out the connection issues, I'm going to read out her profile so that we all understand who will be talking to us this evening. Joy, are you there? Can you hear me, Joy?
Yes, I'll be here. Thank you much.
Great.
Can you hear me?
Thank you very much for joining us, Joy. Thank you so much for joining us this evening. Can you hear me loud and clear? Because we can hear you.
Yes, I can hear you. Can you hear me?
Loud and clear. We can hear you loud and clear.
Good to have you. Thank you for having me.
Yes.
Thank you for having me.
Thank you.
It's a pleasure to be.
Absolutely. So I was about to read your profile. I was about to read your profile. So let me read your profile so everyone can know who is speaking to us today. So Joy Oshokoya is one of the pioneer trauma counselors at the Marabel Center. And Marabel Center is the foremost sexual assault referral center managed by Partnership for Justice in Nigeria. Now, it has provided free medical. Now, please take note: free medical and psychosocial referral and support services to over 6,000 survivors of such sexual assault in Lagos State in 6 years. Okay. Now, she is also the deputy center manager for Marabel Center and the coordinator of the Nana Khadija Center, a one-stop center for domestic violence located in Sokoto. Also a manager of Partnership for Justice. So I know who I brought here. I did not bring anyone who just come and tell us stories. Joy, welcome to Giving Back with Deji. And I know it took me so long to get you. Can you hear me, Joy? Joy, are you there? Hi, Joy, can you hear me? Hi, Joy, can you hear me?
Thank you so much.
Yeah. So the first question is...
I know, right? I can hear you. Can you hear?
Loud and clear.
I hope this network will allow. I can hear you clearly.
Yeah. Who is Joy? Who is Joy Shokoya, please? Who is Joy Shokoya? Please, we'd like to know who Joy Shokoya is. Yeah, you have the floor. Hi, Joy.
Okay. Thank you once again. I'm really hoping and trusting and that we would have the opportunity to speak very clearly and freely. But can you hear me?
Loud and clear. We can hear you.
Can you hear me?
Go ahead. Who is Joy Shokoya? Go ahead.
Okay. I need to be sure if you can.
Loud and clear. We can hear you. We can hear you. Go ahead.
Okay. So Joy, I think your profile, the profile that you read, the profile you read um, sums it up somewhat. So maybe I should just say one or two things that your profile did not say. Okay. So I'm also a mother, blessed with a set of beautiful set of twins, a boy and a girl, that keep me on my feet.
Yeah.
You know, a lot of the time. So I think that's just one extra thing that you didn't mention. But of course, as regards the discussion for today, I'm a trauma counselor, and I've been with the Mirabel Center since its inception. Okay, so we were the people that started off the center, and it's been a journey. It's really been a journey, because when we started off the center, we did not have a we did not.
Okay, I think we lost Joy there. Pending the time, we're still going to try to connect back with Joy. Okay, so still on my statistics. Okay, before Joy connects back, I think she had some connection problem. So I'm still gonna I want to read more statistics for you to understand how in depth some of these these cases, this topic we're about to discuss is. So let me open my document because I need to make. Oh, I think we have Joy back. Joy, you're back.
I am.
Hi, Joy.
Oh, okay.
Yes, you're back. Please go ahead. Go ahead. Continue.
Can you hear me now?
Loud and clear. Please go ahead.
At what point
When
were
you
you lost?
started when you were talking about how you started the Mirabel Center. Yeah.
Okay. So we started off the Mirabel Center with support from British Council.
Yeah.
The Department of that's DFID to they supported us to set up this center, and
Yeah.
like you have all. Excuse me.
Yes, I can hear you. Go ahead. Go ahead. Go ahead. We can hear you.
Okay, so okay, fantastic. So I said that when we started off, we were the first sexual assault referral center.
Yeah.
So we did not have we were like the pace setter. We didn't have anybody to whatever we're doing after, but we so lovely to say after we have 2 other sexual assaults, not even only in Lagos, over like 14 there has been the center, and that is a result of the pioneer work that Mirabel Center did, and we're glad to. We are hoping that in the near future, every state indeed has a sexual assault referral center, because we still get calls from all over the country requesting for support, but we're located in just also in Sokoto, so we offer our services, but we are hoping that with time these centers are spread across every state in Nigeria, and that our services are replicated everywhere and people are able to access support, especially to survivors of rape and sexual.
So you have the data, the statistics I read out, right?
Yes.
Please, can you just talk about it a little bit before we go in depth, please, about cases, if cases are reported and if people get help? Please just talk briefly about it before we go ahead. Yeah.
Yes, and that is indeed, in fact, that statistics is indeed very true. For us at the center, when we started off, in a month we were maybe at least seeing maybe like 20 people, 20 clients, in a month. But by the end of the first year, we began to see up to 100 clients in a month.
Wow.
And in the 6 years that we have, opened our doors to provide these services, we have seen over 6,000 survivors of rape and sexual assault. And these survivors from, male to male, female, boys and girls, matured children. But one thing that we also, have as our statistics is the fact that over 80% of our survivors are children, are minors.
Wow. Wow.
Over 80% of our survivors are minors. And
So that
that's
means
the
that so that means that we have to draw our antenna to what's happening to the minors, the children, right?
absolutely, absolutely, absolutely. Children all over are at risk. I mean, we are even glad that we have other agencies like WARIF, now doing this as well. We have other agencies like Checheyara also involved in this work.
Yeah.
Because in as much as I'm giving you the figures, that does not necessarily cover the whole of Lagos State alone.
And that's
This
Lagos.
is
That data you're giving me is just Lagos
that
only.
is just Lagos. This is just Lagos data, and this is only data that of people who had the courage to even come out to talk about it in the first place. I mean, there are a lot of people who this has happened to, and they would not talk about it because of the fear of stigmatization. So they'll rather not talk about it. They'll rather just, deal with it themselves and think that, okay, we can, let's just keep it within ourselves, because there is a lot of stigma that surrounds talking about things like this. So the data is true. It's true that there high now there we might not want to ask, okay, what can we attribute to as a factor to this increase, in data? A lot of things. First and foremost, there is better information, I would say. There is better awareness. People now know that they can talk about things like this, and they know that when they speak out, they can get help. So people talk about it more. When they speak out, there is a chance that they can get justice. So people talk about it more as well. So there is more awareness. People are talking more about it. Now, is that to say that there is no increase? There is an increase in the rate at which these things happen. There is an increase.
Yeah. Okay, so this leads me to my question. How do we spot a potential or a victim of sexual assault, and how do we help them? Because I know that a lot of people don't talk about this, and in the typical African home, if this kind of discussion is raised, it's thrown swept under the rug. No one wants to talk about it. The victim actually becomes the guilty one. Okay. How do we spot that these are the signs that parents need to look at? Because I know a lot of people are going to watch this video after this episode. So how do parents spot, because now we're talking about children, we have more of children being affected. How do parents spot this kind of traits, and how do they help their children? What do they need to do in order to avoid their children or anyone becoming a victim? Yeah.
Okay. Yes, it becomes very, but first and foremost, one thing I want to point out, we like to call them survivors and not client and not victims. I've heard you mention once or twice, they are victims because when we call them survivors, we try to strengthen and give power back to them, because when it implies somewhat that what has happened to them has overpowered them. What has happened to them has made them less. But we try to give power back to them, and we call them survivors. I mean, something that what doesn't kill you makes you stronger. Yeah. So that's
true.
That's what we like to call them. So for children especially, what are the signs that now the signs are a lot? Okay, we can excuse that. Yes, sometimes some parents do not know better, and then some situations would put the children at harm's way, sort of, and then make them liable or make them susceptible to rape and sexual assault. However, but let it be important that we put it out there first and foremost that the only person responsible for a rape or a sexual assault is the rapist.
Yeah.
The only person to be blamed whenever a rape happens is because a rapist always has a choice to either rape or not to rape.
Yeah.
But then they take up, they take advantage of opportunity. They take advantage of vulnerability, and then they perpetrate this evil. So
okay, I think we lost Joy there again. We hope she's going to connect very soon so that we continue on this discussion. I know it's a very sensitive discussion, and she's going to connect again, and then we continue this discussion. I must tell you that this is really dear to me when I hear this kind of discussion. So Joy is back. Joy, you're back, right? Good.
Yes, I am.
Okay. Yeah,
okay,
you can continue. You can continue,
okay.
please.
So I was saying that there are some signs, some are physical, and then part of one of the physical, very physical signs that we can easily is the feeling of pains. So for instance, a child tells you that my vagina is paining me, or I have pains in my anus. Sometimes Nigerian parents will say, "Oh, you've eaten too much sweets," or is Deji, like we would say, in this part of the country. And what that means is, maybe the child has some constipation or things like that.
Yeah.
And we're not asking the right question.
Yeah.
I can say 99% of the time, if a child tells you that they feel their genital area, it is not play. It's a lot of the time when a child complains of pain in the genital, has very physical signs, their mood changes. Was very childhood used to bedwetting, and you are wondering to the drop in school performance becomes poor, and then they are not able to concentrate, they are not able to focus in class and stuff like that. Sometimes a child will tell you that I don't like my teacher anymore, or I don't like my school anymore. And then sometimes we parent that, oh, this child doesn't just like school, that's why he doesn't. I think the important thing you should do is ask questions. Why? What has happened? Did somebody do something to hurt you in school that's making you decide that you wouldn't go to that school anymore? These are important questions that you ask. Sometimes it is behavioral. This child begins to use language that are not age appropriate, and then or sexual actions that are sexual in nature, that that this is not becoming of this age. It means that child has been exposed to something that they shouldn't have been exposed to. So I mean, a child that is playing with another child and wanting to touch that child's genitals,
Yeah.
it means that someone has done that to that child, you know, and the child not understanding what it is, assumes that it is play. And then they want to do that to another child. We must understand that a lot of the times, children do not even understand the gravity of what this is. They do not even know what it is in the first place.
Yeah.
So most times when it happens to them, they know something bad has happened.
Yeah.
But then they are afraid to talk about it because they fear that, oh, I might get beaten if I talk about it. So they do not talk about it. They keep quiet about it. So a child that was playful before becomes quiet, becomes withdrawn. And you're not asking that child, why are you quiet? Why are you withdrawn? What has happened to you? Some children do not, you know, they don't, their sleep pattern changes.
Yeah.
Some children become, you know, restless. Like I said, also children pick up some habits, like I said, sexual habits that are sexual in nature. So you want to ask that, where did this child learn this? Who showed this to this child?
Yeah.
You know,
Yeah.
so these are all signs that we can, you know, pick from. And then sometimes it's important that we talk about grooming here.
Yeah.
And in saying that, it's important we know that most of the time it is not strangers who abuse children. It is people who are known to children that abuse children. It is people that the parents probably trust and know and assume that the children should be safe with them that become the abusers. And sometimes there are some things that these abusers, these potential or how do we put it now, perpetrators, there are some things that they do that if we look very closely are indicators of possible abuse. So for instance, such an adult might be doing something that we call grooming to the child.
Oh,
so he's talking to that child, he's secluding that child, he's isolating that child. Most of the time it is just he and the child. He becomes the favorite uncle. He becomes the very uncle that is very nice to that child, that indulges that child, buys her things, gives her gifts, you know, is extra nice to her. When she does something wrong, he doesn't punish her because she's, you know, he calls her his special friend. Now, they're forming a with that child. And then by the time all of that is happening, when he now begins to do, you know, take advantage of that child sexually, the child is not able to, you know, decide if he still care for me, right? Or is, you understand? Another thing that, you know, potential predators or perpetrators will do is they begin to normalize activities. Be a 10-year-old child and he's grooming, he begins to talk to her sexually and he makes it look normal. He's talking to her and talking to her about her body parts, talking to her and talking to her about, oh, how do you have a boyfriend? Does somebody talk to you? Do you do this? Do you do that? And then sometimes they go as far as telling them, oh, I will educate you. I will let you know something so that people will not, you know, not mess with you. Meanwhile, they are the ones messing with them.
Okay, so I would like to ask.
And then very important.
So I would like to ask.
Yes, please.
How do we encourage our children to talk when they've started to experience those kind of things you just? How do I encourage them to talk? Because if they do not talk early enough, sometimes those things, the rapist will have done what he needs to do. Okay, so how do we encourage them to talk? What kind of conversation should we have with children, minors? Okay, so that we will know that they have those kind of experience. Go ahead.
And continues to even do it.
Yeah, you have the floor. Go ahead.
very key, very education is very, very important. I tell people that if if you have not started this conversation with your 2-year-old child, you're probably late.
2
as
years.
early as 2 years old. Yeah, as early as 2 years old, you need to begin to have that conversation. And of course, you must make it age appropriate. You must have age appropriate conversation. Is my private part. It be supposed to touch it.
Yeah.
This is a conversation. You must have that, so I will be able to recognize her body. Very important, so that they are assertive, so that they can see thing happens to them. Advisable that you tell your children to, you call it your wee wee, or your bum bum, your wee wee. That name is. Let them know the actual names of this. The that you are educating these children should be age appropriate. If anybody touches you, tell me. And then by the time they progress, you begin to boundaries are. Please encroach, talk about it. Teaching children assertive. Now, you may not necessarily have to, download the whole sex education all at once, but there are life skills that you begin to teach children that equips them. First, what is teaching them to be assertive, teaching them to be able to, when they want something, they say what they want. When they don't want something, they are able to say, no, I do not want it.
Yeah.
It's very key that we teach them this. And then teaching to understand boundaries. And I must say, this education is important for the boy child as well as the girl child as well.
Okay.
So when children understand that, oh, there is a boundary. When I want to hold somebody, I need to ask, can I hold your hand? When I want to hug my friend, I need to ask my friend, can I hug you? Can I give you a hug? You understand? Children would understand that somebody coming to them and touching them, they will know to report to their father that this touched me without my permission. You understand what I mean? So that that's the kind of education. Yes. So the child can say, this person touched me and I didn't like it. He didn't ask for my permission. That is teaching boundaries. So you haven't necessarily told the child that, oh, don't let somebody put his, but you've taught that child boundaries. And that ask for permission and things like that. So teaching assertiveness, teaching boundaries to children. And then as they grow, it's also important to teach children not to keep secrets. Because a lot of the times, people that abuse children, they thrive on the secrets that they're able to keep with. So they tell the children, it's a secret, me and you, don't tell anyone. So when you teach your child that you know what, we don't keep secrets in this house.
Yeah.
You know? So that child knows that when somebody comes and tells him or her that, you know, this is our little secret, the child will say, no, I don't keep secrets. So the perpetrator knows that he should not pray with such a child, because he knows that if he doesn't, that child will tell. So these are the
so let's go into,
help that they become assertive, that they can stand up for themselves. And sadly, it's so sad that these things, it can happen in the home, it can happen in the school, it can happen in the it can happen.
Okay, so I want us to talk about domestic violence for adults now. While we have a lot of teenagers who
Right.
get into abusive relationships. I know I have called you several times and reported cases of people that had gone through those cases, and I wanted you to help them. And some of them refused help, some of them accepted, and all of that. I know so, but how, what do we, the young girl or a teenager or a young adult, what should he look out, what should she or he look out for before getting into a relationship or even getting married, so that that person do not get into an abusive relationship or abusive marriage? What are the things that they need to look out for? Yeah.
Thank you. That, and this is a very, very important question, because we find every day. I mean, you hear it in the new day, where somebody is undergoing such a terrible, where they suffer domestic violence. And the truth is, there are always signs. There are always signs. There are always signs, especially of domestic violence. See, somebody who would abuse you physically, by abusing you physically the first he meets you. But there are signs, there are things that he will do. He can be verbally abusive. He can be emotionally abusive.
Yeah.
He hasn't gotten physical, but he's verbally abusive. He's physically, he's emotionally abusive. Slighting you. What do we mean by gaslighting? Doing things or saying things that make your own reality. And then you are thinking, this thing I did I really do it? Abi, what is wrong with me? Maybe I was the one that was at fault, or maybe it was my fault. Maybe I didn't do. It was my fault. I was the one that did it wrong. This is because somebody is making you feel that his action is based on you. You are the one that makes him do what he does.
That triggered his action.
He's abusing you emotionally, and he's telling you that it is your fault. Yes, he's telling you that you are the one that triggered it, or you feel that he's abusing you emotionally, and he's telling you that happened. You used to forget things, not what happened. This is how, and then you are now beginning to question your. And again, it's important to note that this of a person might be very, very nice and very romantic. So you are in a good state. This person is so sweet, but at the same time, he's doing some things to you that is making you feel worthless. He's doing some things that is making you question yourself, question your thinking, question your decisions. But then you're not thinking about it. You are thinking about, oh, he's so sweet. Oh, he's so nice. These are the major signs that we need to look out for. In as much as he's sweet, he's abusing you verbally. He's abusing you. He's not necessarily beating you, but he's telling you that you don't have sense. You're telling you that why are you so senseless? Why are you so dumb? He's making you feel like he's the best thing after sliced bread. He's the best thing that ever happened to you.
Okay, so I would like to ask.
You can never meet any other person. Nobody likes you. Only one that likes you. Nobody else likes you. Isolates you from your friends and your bad, and tells it's just you against the world. All these people, they like our good. They don't want us to be successful. They don't want us to have a beautiful relationship. It's just me and you.
Okay, so I would like to ask, for those who have gotten into this, they have been the survivors of domestic violence and sexual assault that have gotten into it. Now, some of these people get married, some of these people get into relationships, and they carry some of these this experience with them, and this experience begin to affect the beauty of marriage or some other, or the relationships that they have. How do spouses, or how do partners observe, or how do they know when their partner or spouse have gone through this kind of experience? Because some of them will not even tell their spouses. How can they help their spouse to speak up, and also help them, especially in trying to overcome it? Because I know some marriages and some family, some friendships are actually suffering just because of this. How do spouses help their partners in order for them to get out of that get out of that experience, and then enjoy the beauty of the relationship that they've started? Yeah.
Right.
Oh, I think we lost Joy again. We expect her to come back, but the session has been has been intense. There are some things I've not heard in a while, or I've not heard before, that I'm hearing for the first time. So we expect her to come in very soon to join us. Before she joins us, I would like to share some statistics that I can see on some sites here. Okay, so just like she mentioned about sexual. Okay, I think she's back. Sorry, I'm not an expert in this. Let the expert do her job. Hi, Joy. Welcome back. Welcome back.
Okay.
All right, continue, please. Please, you have the floor. Go ahead.
This network it is well with my network.
It's okay. The viewers
So,
want to
I was
hear anything
saying
from
that
you. They only want to hear from you. So I'm going to allow you. Yeah. Go ahead.
All right. Okay. So when it comes to issues of sexual assault and the trauma that is associated with of rape and sexual assault,
Yeah.
it is far-reaching. Now, for some people, the trauma can be, immediate. They can just experience feelings of, fear, feelings of helplessness, feelings of, distraught and everything. And it can last for a little while, and then they are able to bounce back and move on with their lives. But for some other people, this feeling of helplessness, this feeling of thoughts, this feeling of extreme, and pain for a while. And if it is not dealt, it tends to stress disorder, and then moves to having flashbacks, constantly, lack of trust, and out of that, there is still the fear, there is hypersensitivity, all of this. And I mean, that is all. And then they have all of that has not been dealt with. They have not spoken to anybody about it. A lot of time, what most people do is they just sweep it under. They try to forget about it, and then they just want to move on. But that has not done anything to it. It's under the carpet. One day it will raise ugly head again. So
we've lost her again. This network is not going to affect us. We must get this information. Okay, so for those who are with us, so sorry about it, and we're trying to get her back. This is Giving Back with Deji, and today's topic is indicators and how to support sexual. Joy has told me not to call them victims, okay? How to support sexual assault survivors. So wait for Joy. She will soon join us back. However, before she went off, she was talking to us about how those who get married still with some of those baggage of the sexual assault or domestic violence, and they get into friendships or partnerships or in marriage with people, and then they still carry that experience into it, and that's affecting the relationship and the quality of the relationship. So that's what she was talking to us on. And before she went off, we expect that she'll come back in on very soon. I'm not going to bore you by talking about this topic. I am not an expert in this topic. That's the truth, and that's why I got someone who I know can give us the kind of information that we need. She works with Mirabel Center in Lagos, and the specialty of Mirabel Center is to deal with cases like this. Mirabel Center, if you want to check Mirabel Center, you go to Nigeria. Okay, I'm checking their site, so I can give you their information. So let me just share some of the information about their site. So their website is mirabelcenter.org. For anyone out there who needs support, who needs help, feel free to reach out to Mirabel. Mirabel is MIRABL center.org. And they treat all these cases with outright. They are very quiet about it. They don't reveal any information out, and everything is strictly confidential. They don't reveal any of this information out, and they're an NGO, so they thrive on the donation of people like you who are watching this video, and basically they believe that the more you help the survivors, the stronger they become. And just like she said in while she was speaking, that what doesn't break you make you stronger. So they give free medical examination and treatment to survivors. They give psychosocial support. They give legal support. If you need legal assistance, they give that to you also. They do referral to agencies, and the referral to agencies to help. Okay. And they also have the education. They go out to do education, to give education to people. I'm checking, and they've given over 6,000 support to survivors. They reach 300,000 people monthly, and presently they have 30 plus counselors. So if you need someone who's going to be dedicated to you, to talk to you, to give you all the support you need, Mirabel Center is the right place to reach out to. I am giving this information out, and to reach them, if you need to save this contact. Please save it on your phone. For anyone who's going through any of this kind of experience, you can reach out to them. Please take down this number. It's 081-5577-0000. So it's a simple number for you to memorize. 081, if you're in Nigeria, that's +234 081-5577-0000. And if you're out there and you'd like to give them some support, you'd like to donate, just visit their website, click on donate now, and they will reach out to you so you can support what they are doing. She did not ask me to canvass for them, so I'm not canvassing for them. I'm giving all this information because we know we have very few centers like this in Nigeria taking care of cases of sexual assault or domestic violence, and so they are the one-stop location to reach out to. We have Joy back here. Joy, welcome back.
Apologies.
Yeah, it's okay. I was just reading the website of Mirabel Center, the phone numbers, and telling everyone what you do. So people can reach out if they need to reach out. But before you went off, you're talking to us about how the effect of these kind of experience affect relationships and marriages. and
Yeah.
how spouses can help their partners. Please go ahead. I'm not going to interrupt you, just
Right.
flow. Yeah.
Okay. So for a partner, it's very important that we are understanding of what has happened to the survivor. It takes a lot. It takes a lot, DJ, I must tell you, because sometimes, there is something called vicarious trauma, and that is secondary trauma. That is trauma that somebody who cares for someone who has experienced trauma also experiences. When somebody that has experienced that trauma has told you or is telling you about, the extreme pain and
Yeah.
extreme distressing situation that they experience, of course you would feel all of that. And
Yeah.
there is also the possibility of, spouses or partners of such survivors to feel. But it
Yeah.
is important that you let them understand that, number one, you are there for them,
Yeah.
and that you are supportive of them, because a survivor's journey to healing, a survivor's journey to rising above what has happened is their
Yeah.
journey. In as much as you love them so much,
Mm-hmm.
it's important that you allow them take those steps.
Yeah.
It's important. It's enough for you to say, okay, so there is help here, there is help. You can call the Mirabel Center. There's therapy here, counseling, but it is
Yeah.
their choice. It is their, it's left for them to take that first step
Yeah.
towards healing. So as partners, as people who love people who have gone through, you know, these very traumatic experiences,
Yeah.
the first thing that you must do is believe them. When a
Okay.
survivor tells you that this has happened to me, it's important that you believe them. It's important that you let them know that, you know what, I believe you.
Hmm.
And I am sorry that this has happened to you.
Yeah.
The next best thing that you can do is not to blame them for what has happened.
Hmm.
It's very easy for us to want to say, but why didn't you do this? If it was me, it wouldn't have happened to me, Shao.
Hmm.
You know, I would have just done like this and done like that and done like this and done like that.
Yeah.
See, if you ask me, DJ, and say that, oh, Joy, what are the scenarios that, can be in place and then a rape will not happen? I will tell you no one scenario,
Hmm.
because I have seen this happen in every possible scenario that you can think about.
Hmm.
If you tell me, oh, if it had happened like this, if she had done
Yeah.
like this or didn't do like that, it probably wouldn't have happened. I'll give you a scenario where it happened.
Hmm.
So it can happen to anybody. It can happen in any situation.
Yeah.
So first we must believe them, and then we must not blame survivors of rape and sexual assault. It is not
Hmm.
our place to say, why didn't you say it since? Or as a husband, it happened to you 10 years ago. And why are you acting like it happened yesterday now? I was not there
Hmm.
10 years ago. Why are you not using it to suffer me? Is it me that did it? That's a wrong response to give.
Hmm.
That's a wrong way to support a survivor of rape and sexual assault. Believe them.
Hmm.
Tell them that you do not blame them and support them. Sometimes they do not want you to give them advice. They want to be heard. Listen. It's important to listen to them. It's important to listen to their, have them express however it is they feel. But one thing is that there is hope for every survivor of
Yeah.
rape and sexual assault. With the right support, with the
Yeah.
right support, with the right therapy, with the right information,
Yeah.
every survivor of rape and sexual assault can rise above what has happened to them. It might take a while, and this
Hmm.
is because we are unique. Everyone is unique, and that is why also at the Mirabel Center, the services that we render to survivors are client specific. It's
Okay.
not it's not an umbrella service. It's not a one size fits all. No, it is specific to the person that presents. It's specific to how what happened has affected them, and then
Yeah.
we'll work with them. So understand, people, one person may have bounced back after 1 month that it happened.
Yeah.
Another person is still trying to bounce back after 5 years.
Mm-hmm.
It's their journey. Understand them and try to support them. So for
Okay.
someone who has this person who has gone through this, be there for them. Be there for them. You might not understand why they have trust issues. You might not understand why they are very irritable. You might not understand why it seems like they are not getting their life back together. They are not, getting a hold of their lives. And then you want to say, this thing happened to you a while ago. Get a hold of yourself now. Get over it. No, that's a wrong thing to say to a survivor.
Yeah. So I know we'll have a lot of people out there who like to be like you, to support people out there. Not necessarily working with Mirabel. I don't know if Mirabel has the capacity to swallow in a lot of people. I know a lot of people out there who want to give support, who need some of these trainings, who
Right.
need to know how to support people or also to be there for people. I just read your. I was just going through the Mirabel Center website, and I see that you have made yourself very accessible. That with just a click on the WhatsApp link on your website, you can start chatting with someone immediately.
Absolutely. With
And
my
I saw
phone.
that. Oh my God! And I also see here that there's a simple number that anyone can memorize to give call
Yeah.
to. The
Yeah.
081-5577-0000.
0000.
It makes it very
Yeah.
easy to get
Yeah.
support. But I know a lot of people do not know this, that they can get support. So how do you want to use technology now? Because one of the major limitations we have in the world today is how do we use technology to bridge that gap and help people out there who like to get support but are not getting it because they feel they are not in Lagos. How are you trying to do this? How do you connect to these people? So for married couples who like to, through technology, just have, I don't know, just let me allow you just speak. Please go ahead.
Yeah, and this is very important. I mean, COVID exposed us to the necessity of technology.
Yeah.
I mean, people were stuck and couldn't get out, but just had to reach out somehow. And I must tell you, during that COVID time, we were working. We were working online, offline, online most especially. And thankfully, technology has really helped us. And one thing you will find is that the Mirabel Center is on every social media platform. We are on Facebook, we are on LinkedIn, we are on Twitter, we are on Instagram.
Yeah.
And all of our information are going out every day. Now, leveraging on social media, leveraging on technology. I mean, it was just this week, 2 days ago or 3 days ago, that we had a webinar. And we were talking about this. People were able to join from everywhere. And, we had experts coming to talk about, sexual assault and mental health, how it affects our mental health.
Yeah.
So thankfully, with technology, there is a lot of information out there. And like you rightly pointed out, with the click of a button, you are chatting directly with a counselor at the Mirabel Center. Now, the services we provide online and offline counseling. So that means that for people who are not able to access our center one-on-one, face-to-face, they can actually also access counseling via WhatsApp or via the telephone. So our services are still available to people. And then we have information going out on all our social media platforms. I mean, it is educative, it is inspiring.
So what's the social media? Your social media handle for those
Mirabel
who like
Center NG, just Mirabel Center NG on Facebook, Mirabel Center NG on Twitter, on Instagram, Mirabel Center NG. You'll find us on all social media platforms.
And I can see that you also thrive on the donations of people.
Absolutely.
So let's say someone like me, every communication I am giving right now, please, I need you all to know, if you're watching anywhere, I am not an ambassador for Mirabel Center.
But we would like to have you as an ambassador.
I have no affiliation to Mirabel Center. So I am not giving this information because I have an affiliation. Yeah, I've known
Right.
Joy for 11 years
Yeah.
professionally, and we've become very good friends. Okay, I don't joke with her at all. I'm sure even her husband will know that there's a Deji in her life.
Yeah.
Okay. So, but I need you all to understand that if they thrive on the donation, you can imagine how far Mirabel Center can go with very good use of money. I feel that people, so how do people like me who would like to give some of our donation, how do we connect? I can see that there's a donate button on your website. Please just share it before we round up. Yeah.
Yes, and this is very important because all of the services that we provide at the center, they are absolutely free. And I'm talking about free medical consultation, free counseling, free medical examination and testing and treatment for survivors of rape. All of these services are free. And of course, we need funding to be able to do this. Thankfully, we have fundings, but in fact, right now, as I speak, a few of our fundings, in fact, all our fundings have come to an end, and we're trying to source for funding. So we receive funding from well-meaning individuals, corporate organizations, and international non-governmental organizations as well. So please, there is the donate button on our website. Please and please and please help
Just
us to
click
help
it and donate.
survivors.
Yeah.
Because the truth of the matter is, if they were to access these services as paid services, a lot of people will not be able to access it.
True.
A lot of people will not be able to access our services. So that is why we have made it free for everyone that comes to the center. So every support we can get. Sorry?
Any opportunity for people who like to connect and become like a Joy Shukoya?
Yes, we have opportunity for volunteers actually.
Okay.
We have opportunity for volunteers than people who can volunteer, their skills to us at the center. There are a lot of things that you can do for survivors. I mean, we need a lot of content going out. We need a lot of, graphic designers. We need a lot of content developers and, advocates out there. So there's a lot of work for everybody.
Thank you very much, Joy, for coming to this for this event. I really appreciate the fact that finally I was able to catch you and bring you down here. It was a long chase, but finally I got you here. And I hope that someday we'll need to bring you back here. And trust me, a lot of people start reaching out to you via socials, and Mirabel and also Joy Oshokaya. Please, can you share your socials in case people like to reach out to you also?
Okay. Absolutely. On Twitter, I am Joyzino, Joizino.
Yeah.
On Twitter, on Instagram, I am Joyzino, Joy.
Yeah.
Zeno.
Yeah.
Yes.
All right. Please reach out to Joy if you need support, you need counsel, and reach out to Mirabel Center to give you all the support.
Yes. And our numbers are also very easy to get. Yeah. Like DJ said, of the WhatsApp button, you are chatting with me directly. So we are that accessible.
Please visit the website mirabelcenter.org, MIRABEL Center, CENTRE.org. And please, you get all the support you need. Joy, thank you so much for coming, and I'm glad we had this episode.
Absolute pleasure. Absolute pleasure. The pleasure has been mine.
Yeah. All right. Thank you.
Thank you so much.
Yeah. All right, everyone. Thank you so much for joining us. I know it's been a long the data has just been affecting this conversation, but I'm glad finally we're able to get Joy to speak. I know I could not get her to say everything that she really wanted to, but please reach out to Mirabel Center, reach out to Joy Shukoya. She's going to give you all the help and all the information you need. All right, next week we're coming back, but trust me when I say that every week we will be bringing in people who will talk to us about topics that will add value to us. So next week, this same time, 7 p.m. to 8 p.m. Sorry, we took like 4 minutes into your time in this video. But please, for those of you who are going to see this video, please share it to friends and families, people who you think who need this help, who need this information. Please share with them. Thank you very much and have a great week ahead.